Identifying coastal landforms is an essential map skill that helps in understanding the processes shaping the coastline. Coastal landforms can be broadly categorized into those formed by erosion and those formed by deposition. Reading and interpreting maps to recognize these features involves understanding their characteristics and the processes that create them. Erosional landforms are created by the relentless action of waves, wind, and weathering, which wear away the coastline. Here are key erosional landforms and how to identify them on a map. Cliffs are steep faces of rock and earth that rise abruptly from the shore. On a map, cliffs are often indicated by closely spaced contour lines showing a sudden change in elevation. They are usually marked with a symbol or shading to denote their steepness. Wave-cut platforms are flat, often rocky areas found at the base of cliffs, formed by wave erosion. On a map, these platforms appear as flat areas adjacent to cliffs. They may be indicated by a slight change in contour lines or depicted using specific symbols for rocky terrain. Headlands are points of high land jutting out into the sea, while bays are indented areas between headlands. On a map, headlands protrude into the sea, while bays are concave indentations along the coast. The alternating pattern of headlands and bays is a clear indicator of a discordant coastline. Caves are formed in cliffs by wave action, and when they erode through a headland, they create arches. When the roof of an arch collapses, it leaves a stack. These features are smaller and might be indicated by small symbols or annotations on detailed maps. Stacks, for example, can be marked with small rock symbols offshore from headlands. Depositional landforms are created by the accumulation of sediment transported by waves, currents, and wind. Here are key depositional landforms and how to identify them on a map. Beaches are areas of loose sand, gravel, or pebbles along the shore. On maps, beaches are often shown as yellow or beige strips along the coastline. They may also be labeled with terms like sandy beach or shingle beach. Spits are narrow ridges of sand or shingle extending from the coast into the sea. On a map, spits are shown as elongated landforms protruding into the water, often with a hooked or curved end. They can be identified by their thin, extended shape and may be labeled. Bars are formed when a spit extends across a bay, connecting two headlands and trapping a lagoon behind it. On a map, bars appear as narrow strips of land across a bay, separating it from the open sea. They can be identified by their linear shape and location between 2 points of land. Sand dunes are mounds or ridges of sand piled up by the wind. On maps, dunes are shown by contour lines indicating elevation changes and are often labeled as sand dunes or dune field. Vegetation symbols may also be present, indicating stabilized dunes. To effectively identify coastal landforms on a map, follow these steps. Examine the contour lines. Closely spaced contour lines indicate steep slopes, such as cliffs, while widely spaced contour lines indicate gentle slopes, such as those leading to beaches or wave-cut platforms. Look for symbols and labels. Maps often use specific symbols and labels to denote features like cliffs, stacks, beaches, and dunes. Familiarize yourself with these symbols by referring to the map's legend. Analyze the coastal shape. The shape of the coastline can provide clues to the types of landforms present. Look for protruding areas, headlands, and indentations, bays, along the coast. Identify patterns. Erosional and depositional patterns can help distinguish between different landforms. For example, an alternating pattern of headlands and bays suggests erosional processes, while the presence of spits, bars, and dunes indicates depositional processes. Use supplementary information. Aerial photographs, satellite images, and topographic maps can provide additional details to help identify and understand coastal landforms. Comparing these resources with traditional maps enhances your ability to recognize and interpret coastal features. Identifying coastal landforms on maps is a vital skill for understanding the dynamic processes that shape the coastline. By recognizing the characteristics of both erosional and depositional landforms, and using map features such as contour lines, symbols, and labels, you can accurately interpret and appreciate the complexity of coastal landscapes. This knowledge is essential for managing coastal environments and planning sustainable development in these sensitive areas.